So I want to talk to you guys about one of the most important upgrades you could do in your home theater, in your house, that's very rarely talked about in our industry. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Hey folks, I'm Gene Delasala with Audioholics. We have Aaron Sievertson from QMotion. How you doing, Aaron?
Great, thanks, Gene.
Awesome. So I want to ask you something, Aaron. People spend their money on cables, they spend their money on more amplifiers, but they rarely spend their money on something that'll have a huge impact in their theater room, and that's light control. Getting rid of light in your room, you know, smoking out the mirrors in your room, or any of the windows you have where sunlight's coming in. Why I wanted to have you here is I wanted to talk about your solutions from QMotion, why we went with QMotion to do all of our window treatments and shading, and maybe you could give us a history rundown of the company, what you guys are all about.
Sure. So window treatments are something that people typically think about in the end, or they think it's just decorative and something to add some nice look to the room, but really it can help in many ways of, yes, eliminating light, reducing the temperature of the room by cutting out the sunlight that's heating up the space. So very important things with window treatments, and to make them integrated with the home, with a smart home, is even better because you can have them controlled from a remote control, from a button on the wall. You don't have to walk up to them and pull a chain, although all those options are available with QMotion. And so we can do new installs, we can do retrofit like we have at the Audioholics Smart House. And so the options are very flexible for the application.
Right. Okay, so one thing that drew me to QMotion was I was working with my local install company, HD 2020, and they said, you really should check out QMotion because their window treatments work really well with control systems like Control 4. Can you tell me what it is that you guys do that makes it so you have such a great success rate with control systems?
The main thing that really helps with that is our wireless shades talk in Zigbee, which is what Control 4 speaks in. Being a direct control with Control 4 means that there's no interface in between the control system and our shades. So it really helps to simplify the installation and the integration for the user to make a seamless operation of those shades.
Right, and now the technology you guys use is Zigbee?
Yes.
So what is that all about?
So Zigbee is a wireless protocol that it creates a mesh network through the home, a digital mesh network, and basically devices communicate back and forth to each other. Our shades happen to be endpoints, so we are receiving the signal from the Control 4 system. So when you hit open shade, shades go up.
Awesome. The other thing I was going to ask you about is I've noticed some of the window treatments from competitors that, you know, the motors tend to be pretty noisy when the shades are going up or down. One thing about yours is we have this giant window, I think it's like 15 feet, the sliders that I have in my main room, and you've got two shades there, two really big shades, and the motors are really quiet. How is that achieved?
The one thing that QMotion has done since the beginning is they've latched on to a simple technology that actually the founder of the company started in before, which was the garage door spring. And on a very large shade like that, the garage door spring concept is inside that shade. So the motor doesn't have to do as much lifting on the way back up. It just torques the shade down, winds that spring up, and when you go to lift the shade up, it doesn't really have to do a whole lot of lifting to roll the shade. So we're utilizing springs to lift the shade, which means we can use smaller motors and resulting in less noise on the motor.
Oh, cool. Okay. So how are these powered now? Can you have, like in our situation, we have battery power. Is there a way that this could be done pre-construction where you could have, I don't know, Ethernet cables run where you have power going to them so you don't have to use batteries?
Yeah, sure. On a new construction, we can pull a Cat 5e or a Cat 6 from a centralized location out to wherever the shade window is, and the motors are 24 volt. They run on something similar to PoE, but it's using the Cat 6. So you have communication option of 485 communication plus power on the same cable, or the same motors also have wireless capability with Zigbee built into them. So we could power them through the Cat 6 and still use Zigbee to control them.
Oh, cool. Okay. So in our situation, we didn't pre-wire for that, so we wound up doing battery powered on all of our motorized shades. How long do the batteries usually last?
So it depends on the use of the shade. If you're running them up and down, we'll say twice a day, in the morning to block out that sun, open them back up, and that's about it. Plus the size of the shade and some other factors with just the environment itself, if it's hot, if it's cold, you could get anywhere from a year to even possibly 2 years out of those batteries.
Okay. Are there any particular batteries that you recommend, whether it's brand or is it lithium ion or anything like that?
Actually, lithium ion is something we tend to stay away from, but Duracell is a good one, and Energizer is a good one. That you just probably want to stay away from the cheap ones that don't have a recognizable name.
Just the standard, like, what are they, D batteries?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, so we'll be checking that out, the battery run time on these over the next year or two to see how long they last, and I'm going to hold you to it lasting at least a year.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean we go up and down on the shades probably twice a day max, so that shouldn't be a problem. So Aaron, speaking about battery life and how to change the batteries, how do we change the batteries on the system?
It's a great question, Gene. So one of the great features about QMotion shades is that you can physically pull the hem bar down to expose the roll. And the roll, it has the batteries inside of it. So when you pull that hem bar all the way to the floor, there's a little door up there, little cover. You pull that off and you pop the old batteries out, put the new batteries in, put the clip cover back on. It rolls itself back up when it powers up.
Easy as pie. So can you give me a rundown of the different products? Because we've got various different products in the house and they have different functions. So some of them are 100% light control, some of them are just privacy control. Maybe can you give us a little rundown on what the difference is between having full light control versus just privacy?
Yeah, as far as the fabric goes, there are really two types of fabric. There's we call room darkening, which is almost a blackout. As you know, you have to put side channels in to really start to get rid of the light leak around the sides, but the fabric itself has zero transmission. Then you have options of some room lightening, which is where we have a 1%, 3, 5, and you have different options of how much light you want to cut down in the room. And also with that, you have the different fabric selections. So it really comes down to the decor match you want to have and how much of that natural light you want to prevent from coming in the room.
Gotcha. One thing I noticed that was really cool, like in the theater room, for example, we have a shade that's 100% light control, but on the inside, it's like a dark brown to match the decor of this room, but on the outside, looking into the window, it's actually white, so it's two-tone.
Yeah, we have some options there as well. Typical is the white, but you can also do custom prints on there as well if you wanted to have a figure on the other side of someone standing in your window when you put the shade down. You could do that as well.
Right. So give me a rundown on the whole selection process. If somebody wants to do this kind of light control in their house, do they contact a dealer or a local installer? How do they look through a whole palette of selections to figure out exactly what they want in their house?
The best thing to do is to go onto the QMotion website and to locate a dealer. And we have dealers all across the country, all across the world actually. And find a dealer who's near you. If you're really in doubt, you can also contact QMotion Legrand and talk to a rep. They can get you in touch with somebody who's in your area, and that person would come out. They're a certified dealer with QMotion, and they'll come out, bring a fabric book with them, show you the different options, and then the most important thing is looking at what are we installing into. They look at the windows, they see what options you have for installation. If you want to do in-frame, out-of-frame, have exposed roll or fascia brackets on there. There's a lot of different options, and it really starts to become a process of not just, hey, I want to do shades, but also what do you want them to look like in the space? And then taking the time to sort through those details.
Right, I got you. Yeah, there really was. I could not believe all the different configuration options. My wife worked with you guys for several months on figuring it all out, and it looks absolutely stunning. So I'm really excited about having this opportunity to review these shades and integrate them into the Audioholics Smart House, because we're trying to bring the very best of technologies into this house. And obviously, shading and light control is often overlooked in this industry for consumers. So we're trying to bring that knowledge to you guys because it really does make a world of difference, not only in light control, as Aaron said, but in heat management of your house, blocking out that sunlight, especially in places like Florida where we have constant sunlight and constant heat, and also privacy control. So, when you have these giant sliders and you have a neighbor that's pretty close by, you don't want them always seeing your business. So it's nice to have the ability to kind of tune them out of that world. And we're going to be, showing you some cool tricks that we're doing with the Control4 automation system. We're going to be creating these different light events or scene events when you press turn a movie on, the shades are going to go up or down. So stay tuned for that as we get all this stuff programmed. So Aaron, after you contact a local dealer and they come to your house, what's the process in terms of them getting the right fit for all of your window treatments? You know, can you give me a rundown of what goes on with that?
Sure. So after you've selected the fabric that you want that's going to look best in your home, then they're going to take measurements. And that is probably, that's the most important step, is getting good measurements of the windows, the inside, the width, the height, making sure that there's no strange obstructions in the way. And that documentation is the most important step. After that, the dealer would place the order for the shades, the factory would build them, ship them, the installers show up to install them, and if everything's gone smoothly from step one through, the installation can be very smooth, and the end result is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I could tell you guys, it's been an awesome process. I think you spent a day and a half doing all of our window treatments in here, and very precise cutting. I mean, it's like everything lines up really slick. It's incredible to see these things just kind of close on a long slider like we have. I just didn't see how it was going to work. And the two piece is very seamless. I like how the motors kind of track each other, goes down very, very quietly and very inconspicuously. And it's such a visually stunning, impressive thing to show people when they come over your house and you say, you know, Captain, raise the shields, and all the blinds come up, or, you know, through Alexa control.
Yeah.
So it's just, I can't stress to you guys how awesome of an element that is as a final touch in your home theater, in your smart home, when you do an integration in the entire house. It just makes a world of difference. So guys, make sure you check out QMotion, contact your local dealer, have a certified QMotion person, installer, come to your house, do the proper measurements. The measurements really matter. You want to get the best fit possible. You don't want them to have to come back and recut things over and over again. And if you can't afford to do the motorized stuff, the passive stuff is still great. The chain works really well. I have those in the guest bedrooms, and they're pretty flawless. I mean, it's a great product overall. The material quality is really good. I'm really happy with it. I appreciate you coming out here to do the install. Aaron's a super professional guy. He really knows how to do this stuff incredibly well. And all the installers that were involved in this whole project is just incredible. So guys, if you like this video, please thumb it up, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget about our Patreon channel at patreon.com/audioholics. We appreciate your support. You get direct access to me if you want to suggest video topics. And until next time, my friends, keep listening. I see a red light. Is it recording now?
I need to quiet down.
Yeah, please kill the vibrations.
No, not me, hon.
Is it mine?
I guess.
Ah.
So we're both wearing blue shirts. Are we part of the Scientology club in Clearwater?
It's a new starter regiment.
Very good.
It's weird sitting down, but I'll do it.
Ah.
All right.
It's like those movie interviews. Director, the actors.
All right.
It's Mosh on the interview.
That's it.
I hope I didn't say anything that's going to incriminate me later. Cut there for a second. Just
Okay.
no. I mean, yeah, obviously.
May not have the operation ability. I need a lock on that door.
Or a sign
Yeah. Yeah. That's
on air.
yeah, on air, exactly.